do our best to get everybody in line.
How's everybody today?
Good, Coach.
Good. So I think 3 points of emphasis that we've really tried to make after the scrimmage is, really getting the guys to sustain, to finish, better effort to finish plays, better effort to maintain your intensity, whether it's during the play, the next play, or the 50th play. To be able to sustain and have the mental toughness to be able to maintain and sustain your energy, intensity, so you can finish plays. That also leads into mental errors. We got to eliminate mental errors. Too many times guys aren't doing what they're supposed to do, and it leads to negative plays. So we're constantly trying to teach guys cause and effect. When you do this and you don't do it right, this is what happens. If you do it right, this is what happens. So, and we have to get more consistency in performance, and I think it goes back to sustaining and maintaining intensity. The same way you have to finish a play, so that we eliminate mental errors. Everybody can do their job, and we can play better as a team. And that bleeds right into the other point of emphasis, which is penalties. It's been a big emphasis for us this spring to eliminate penalties, and I think it goes back to the same thing. If I can maintain and sustain my intensity and focus on whether it's jumping off sides, whether it's illegal motion, whether it's wrong formation, and half of our penalties have been pre or post snap. In other words, they don't happen during the play. So, and those things can all be eliminated if we just have a little bit of discipline, a little bit of focus, and maintaining intensity. So, those are the things that we really want to emphasize. The last 2 days in practice, I thought the intensity has been good. I think the spirit's been good. I like the spirit of the team. I said that after the scrimmage. There's just a lot of things. We've got a lot of young guys. We've got a lot of things to work on to try to get a little better consistency in performance. So that's our focus this week. That'll be our focus for the scrimmage, so that we get a little better execution on a little more consistent basis. Obviously, we got the high school coaches clinic coming up this week. This is one thing that we always look forward to. Coaches do a lot for us. They've done a lot of hard work to develop a lot of the guys that we coach on our team, and this is the one way that we can thank them by trying to have the best possible clinic so they can have an opportunity to develop knowledge and get some experience and get some new energy and ideas for things that they can do to help their program, but also hopefully have a good time as well. So we look forward to that as always.
We'll start here with Nick.
Yeah, you added Ken Wisenhunt as a special assistant to the head coach this offseason. Why was he someone you want to bring in for that role specifically?
He's got a lot of good experience. He's a really good coach. He's been a head coach, he's been an offensive coordinator in the NFL for a long time. So I just thought it'd be a great compliment to our staff. He's been in a similar role at Penn State for 2 years, so he really learned the college game. So he's a good guy. I think everybody has a lot of respect for him, and I think his energy, his enthusiasm, his ideas have been very helpful to us.
Go to Mike.
Along the same lines, you added Clinton Dix this offseason. Just what's his role, and as a former player, what sort of perspective can he offer?
Yeah, well, is sort of a player development coach. We have a couple guys around here. Denzel does a great job. Chad does a great job. They coach the players in everything but football. And Ha's got great character. He's a great person. Sets a really good example. He's got really good leadership. The players sort of migrate to him. He gives them great advice and direction, and things that they can do to help accomplish their goals. And he's just done a fantastic job for us, and appreciate the fact that he wants to be here. It always makes me happy when we have guys that played here, had great careers in the NFL, made the Pro Bowl, and they want to come back and be a part of the program. So we welcomed him, and he's done a fantastic job for us.
Stay over here with Charlie.
With Elijah Pritchett going into his second year in the program, what kind of progress have you seen from him this spring?
He's done a good job. Elijah's getting better. I think he's one of those guys that's a young guy that needs to be able to sustain his intensity, not get penalties, do the little things right. But he has done a really, really good job this spring. He's played well. He's made a lot of progress and improvement, and he's really, competing hard for a position as a starter.
Up front with Chase.
For the coaching staff, what's the fundamental difference between scrimmage 1 and scrimmage 2, and what does that look like on the field?
I don't really know how to answer that question. What's the fundamental difference in scrimmage 1 and scrimmage 2? What's the fundamental difference between game 1 and game 2? Game 1 is the most important game when we're playing game 1, just like scrimmage 1 is the most important scrimmage when it's scrimmage 1. And scrimmage 2, just like game 2, is the most important game when you're playing game 2. So scrimmage 2 is the most important scrimmage when scrimmage 2 comes up. So, I think that each time we do a scrimmage, we're trying to create more of a game-like circumstance for the players. The first scrimmage, we didn't use the press box, for instance. We didn't communicate as we would during the game. Maybe the next scrimmage, we do that. So, there are some little differences. Sometimes we change up the situations in terms of doing other things that we didn't do in the first scrimmage. But in terms of teaching progression, trying to get the players ready to do what we're going to do in that particular scrimmage, it doesn't really change a lot. The points of emphasis may change a bit, but our approach to it doesn't change much at all.
Far side with Steven.
At the star position, coach, what are some of the qualities you look for in a player that's trying to play at that position?
Well, Star is really a Sam linebacker, right? But they got 3 wideouts or more in the game, so playing on a wide receiver, so that guy's versatility different than a linebacker playing that position where he can never play a guy man-to-man. But he is the Sam linebacker in essence, so it takes a guy that is a good tackler, he's tough, he's a good blitzer, but he's got good enough block protection on the perimeter that when they throw smokes and bubbles, he can win, as well as being very instinctive in reading run pass, but then he's got to have enough cover skills to be able to cover slot guy. So that's kind of what we look for. Sometimes that guy's a corner, sometimes it can be a safety. Brian Branch did a great job, doing that. Minka was great when he was here doing it, as well as playing other positions, but I'm just saying those guys are typically the type of guys that we look for.
Couple more, Tony and then Nick. Howard.
Staying on the defense, what qualities do you prioritize when you're looking at the signal caller at inside linebacker?
Well, first of all, the guy's got to be a good communicator. Secondly, he's got to be bright enough to understand, A, what we're trying to do on defense, but B, how do we have to adjust that to whatever the formation is on offense relative to how we want to set the defense, or how we want to run stunt, or whatever. So, and obviously Henry was really good at that, and we've got a couple guys that have made significant progress at that during the spring. But I think it's a work in progress, and hopefully we can continue to build confidence in, several of the linebackers' ability to do that.
Go back over here, finish up, or we've got 2 more, Coach, I missed one. We've got Nick.
You mentioned some of the young players on the team, a couple of veterans injured. How does that impact any evaluation in terms of addressing a need at the spring portal opening up this weekend?
I don't, we talk to our players about what they need to do to develop in this program. And that's how we coach them every day, and that's how we focus on them every day. But I think the fact that we've had 3 or 4 or 5 at times starters out on defense has really given other guys great opportunities to be able to get a lot of reps, to develop a lot of confidence in what they're supposed to do and make a significant improvement and be responsible and compete, like starters, which a lot of guys have. So how that impacts the future, I really don't have a crystal ball. I can't tell you that, so I don't really, know how to answer that part of the question.
We have 1 more to finish up in the back.
Hey, Coach, just wanted an update on the quarterbacks and was curious if anybody, or I guess who has made the most improvement thus far in the spring?
Quarterbacks and who's made the most improvements.
Well, I think both guys have made, really good progress. We're, not disappointed in anybody's progress. I thought they both played, well in the scrimmage. Both guys have had their moments in practice, and they've also had learning opportunities when they've made mistakes, and both of them have responded very well and made improvement. So there's really no, I don't have an evaluation other than the fact that we're coaching every one of the 4 quarterbacks that we have in the program every day to try to help them develop to be the best players they can be. And we're gonna continue to do that, and hopefully those guys will continue to have the right attitude about trying to play winning football at the position. And one of the things that sometimes you have to learn that you gotta eliminate the bad plays to play winning football. So there's some plays in the game that kill you. So to be able to eliminate those things is a big part of being able to execute all the good things. And that's what helps you play winning football. You eliminate mistakes, and you can execute and take advantage when the opportunity presents itself, because you're gonna distribute the ball in every down, and we don't ever wanna turn it over. And you've heard me use the analogy before, we want every series to end in a kick. Might be a punt, might be a field goal, might be an extra point, but we're not turning it over and giving it to the other team. And that's an important part of being able to execute at the quarterback position.
Thank you, Coach.
All right, thank you.